Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called An Alan Smithee film, Burn Hollywood Burn, 1997, rated R, for foul language, I guess. There isn't much else in this movie. I guess it's supposed to be a satire on Hollywood producers. Started out with a good premise, but it's mostly just a bunch of flashback, one-way interviews with various Hollywood folks. Eric Idle plays the disgruntled director. He's actually quite good. I was surprised. It made me laugh when he said his film was worse than fucking Showgirls. That part made me laugh. Right around the time when Coolio and Chuck D show up. So this one has a bad reputation. It gets like 3 point. Well, it gets pretty high rating on IMDb for supposedly one of the worst movies ever. I think it's in the high threes, 3.8 maybe, something like that. So basically, it's about a couple producers who managed to screw up the editing. Eric Idle is the director, of course. He was an editor before. This is his first attempt at directing a movie. So he's sort of going backwards. The movie's called Trio, starring Jackie Chan, Sylvester Stallone, and Whoopi Goldberg. So the movie is pretty bad, but I gave it 2 stars, mostly for Chuck D, Coolio, and Eric Idle. They were the only decent actors in this one. Everybody else kind of fumbled with the script, I guess. It's like they're doing some kind of Skype interview where you only get to see what was recorded on video, and you don't get to see the other person asking the questions. So it's kind of like that throughout the whole movie. Just a bunch of flashback scenes like Kill Bill, but instead of action scenes, it's all rehashing of the story, what actually happened. Each one of the characters tells their own story. There's even some creepy looking plastic surgery producer guy who has some kind of incestuous relationship with his daughter, who's also in love with the director. So Smithee goes to Compton to hire Chuck D and Coolio to get him final cut. They go into a boardroom with the 2 producers and they shake hands. They think they have final cut, but then the LAPD comes after them looking for the film that Smithee allegedly stole. Smithee jumps out the window, runs through a bush, and then he burns it in some tar pit. So Smithee becomes a hero. He goes on Larry King. He kind of there's another funny part when he's talking to Larry King. He says that he's trying to spare he's trying to spare the audience from torture. That part was pretty funny too. The rest of the movie pretty much sucked. Um, but it wasn't as bad as, you know, the other movie that I just saw from Justin to Kelly. It was about as bad as Gigli. Um, so, like I said, I enjoyed some of the acting. Some of the jokes were funny. I wouldn't say all the jokes were funny. A lot of them sucked. And they flash these annoying red letters, these annoying white letters to describe each one of the characters. And I swear to God, every single one of them is a feminist. I don't know what the joke is there, but I guess they're trying to say something about Hollywood or Los Angeles or whatever. Anyways, soundtrack was decent. They had a lot of Public Enemy tracks, some people that I never heard of, but music sound pretty decent, halfway decent, I'd say, compared to from Justin to Kelly, for instance. At least this movie had decent music. So I just liked the film. I thought it could have been better. It had some promise, kind of like Gigli. At least Gigli had an interesting story, albeit um, the inept gangster storyline was kind of unique and inept, I might add. But could have made a better film, I think, similar to this one. They had just maybe if they just eliminated the pattern of these videotape interviews, one-sided interviews, I'm sure it would have been a much better film. Like if we could actually see what happened, flashback scenes like Kill Bill would have been more interesting to see what actually happened instead of people talking about what happened. So in that sense, it was kind of boring. I mean, there was no action to it. Uh, Eric Idle is a decent actor, I'd say. It's too bad he got caught up in a crappy movie, but whatever. It's good to see him in a movie. Uh, like I said, Chuck D and Coolio are doing their jive talking thing. He's saying, "Kiss my black ass." Stuff like that. Anyways. It was better than I expected. I expected much worse, so I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I don't recommend it though. Like I said, the style of each person telling a story, kind of interwoven with each other, was really boring. The only good part was when they were in the boardroom and they were actually acting out what happened. If there were more scenes like that in this movie, I think it would have been a better movie. But they probably spent too much money on the actors, and they couldn't have too much dialogue, as it were. There's hardly any dialogue in this movie. It's mostly people talking to the viewer. Anyways, that's the end of my review. I don't recommend this movie later.